of 32 of this year's FIFA World Cup. Let's take a look at other trending stories from the world of sport on the show this beautiful morning. All you need to do is sit back, relax to enjoy this beautiful ride. Don't forget we are streaming on Facebook as usual, facebook.com/Oluyole 98.5 FM to be part of today's show, and of course to be part of all our shows on your darling radio station, Oluyole 98.5 FM. Let's kickstart with World Cup stories this morning. And informing that more teams, of course, made it through to the next round, and some other teams would have to wait to find out their fates. As regards, the round of 32. Of course, some teams are already lining up and hoping that results from other centers get to favor them. So that they can be part of the eight best place, third place teams in each of their groups. Of course, the matches were played last night, and of course in the early hours of today, Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia played out a goalless draw. Uruguay lost to Spain by a single goal. Egypt and Iran played out a 1-1 draw in the early hours of today. Belgium trashed New Zealand 5-1. Let's take a look at its implication this morning. Let me inform you that at least 21 countries have confirmed their places in the round of 32 knockout stage of the ongoing FIFA World Cup in North America. The latest countries to book their sport are Egypt and Belgium. Egypt drew 1-0 with Iran to qualify for the last 32 stage of the competition, as they finished in second position behind the leaders Belgium in Group C. Belgium on their own part trashed New Zealand 5-1 to advance to the knockout stage. Both teams now join the likes of Australia, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, Japan, the Netherlands, Sweden, Bosnia and Herzegovina, as well as Colombia in the last 32 of the competition. Other teams that have already booked their place in the last 32 are Mexico, South Africa, Canada, Switzerland, United States of America, Brazil, Morocco, Germany, France, Norway, and Argentina. Fantastic one for, of course, those African teams that I mentioned, the likes of Egypt, Ivory Coast, South Africa, and Morocco. Yes, already booked their places. Senegal, they are waiting and hoping that they will make it, maybe one of the top best 8 teams. Top place teams that will be going through. They have to wait to find out their fate. Let's talk about the eliminated teams already. At least 12 teams have been eliminated from the ongoing FIFA World Cup ahead of today's final group fixtures. Iraq, Uruguay. Yes, unfortunately Uruguay, one of the South American giants, they've been knocked out. Yes, Uruguay out as well. Iraq out. Saudi Arabia have been knocked out, as well as New Zealand. Well, those 4 teams are the latest countries to have been sent packing. Senegal trashed 10-man Iraq 5-0 to take their third place in Group I, while New Zealand lost 5-1 to a resurgent Belgium side. Uruguay, on their own part, suffered a narrow 1-0 loss to Spain last night. Saudi Arabia also got knocked out despite their goalless draw with Cape Verde. Well, a total of 16 teams will eventually miss out on the knockout stages. Well, once again, the confirmed list of teams that are already out of the competition are Haiti, were the first team to get knocked out, followed by Turkey, Tunisia, Jordan, Panama, Qatar, Czech Republic, Curacao, Iraq, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and New Zealand. Those are the teams that are already out as we speak of the ongoing FIFA World Cup. Of course, it's important to also celebrate one of Africa's representatives, and that's Senegal, who also became the first African team in history to score 5 goals in a men's FIFA World Cup match. This follows their 5-0 thrashing of 10-man Iraq in their final Group I fixture. After both teams lost to France and Norway in their first 2 matches, only a win and by a significant margin will be enough to keep hopes of progression alive. Papa Theo's men eventually produced the biggest ever victory by an African country at the tournament. Ismail Sarr, Papa Gueye, and Iliman Ndiaye all scored and assisted as the Teranga Lions gave themselves a chance of qualifying for the last 32 of the competition. The last time a team had 3 players score and assist in a World Cup match was when Germany hammered Brazil 7-1. Then we had Toni Kroos, Sami Khedira, and Thomas Muller. That's just a quick look at that. Like I mentioned earlier, Senegal will be hoping that they do just enough and they've gathered enough points, scored enough goals to pick up the necessary points needed to be part of the 8 teams that will qualify as the top best teams from the 3rd place teams. I wish them definitely all the best. While you listen to Tit Bits on Oluyole 98.5 FM. The Trailblazer, the pride of the nation, and of course, we're the best in the West. Well, let's take a look at the confirmed round of 32 fixtures, the dates the fixtures will be played, and the venues. The knockout stage of the 2026 FIFA World Cup is beginning to take shape, with the group stage nearing its conclusion and some round of 32 fixtures now confirmed. Now, football heavyweights, the likes of Brazil, Germany, France, and Argentina have already secured their places in the knockout rounds, while co-hosts the United States and Mexico will also continue their campaigns in front of their home supporters. However, several ties are yet to be finalized with several 3rd place qualifiers and some group winners and runners-up are still yet to be determined. Let's take a look at the already confirmed fixtures in the round of 32. Well, on Sunday, that's tomorrow, the 20th day in the month of June, 8 p.m., South Africa will take on Canada. Yes, one of Africa's representatives. They will face Canada at 8 p.m. tomorrow in Los Angeles, United States of America. And on Monday, 6 p.m. it will be Brazil versus Japan. The game will be played in Houston, at Houston Stadium. 9:30 p.m. that same day. It will be time for Germany versus Paraguay. That game will be played at the Boston Stadium in Boston, United States. And on Tuesday, 2 a.m. the Netherlands will face another African representative, Morocco. This time around, the game will be played in Canada at the Monterrey Stadium in Monterrey. 6 p.m. that same day, Cote d'Ivoire will, of course, another African representative who've also booked their place in the round of 32. They will face Norway at the Dallas Stadium. And the last game that day, we'll see heavyweights France take on Sweden at the New Jersey Stadium in New Jersey. And on Thursday, the 2nd of July, it will be the time of USA versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. That game will be played at the San Francisco Bay Arena. On Friday, the 3rd of July, 7 p.m. we'll have Australia take on Egypt at the Dallas Stadium, and Argentina take on Cabo Verde. Cabo Verde is another Africa representative who have already booked their places at the competition. And then after the round of 32, the tournament will progress to the round of 16. Then the quarterfinals, then we'll have the semi-finals, the third place playoff, and then the final. Of course, all of this scheduled for Sunday, July. It's final scheduled for Sunday, the 19th of July at the New Jersey Stadium. That's a quick look at what to expect going forward at the ongoing FIFA World Cup holding in North America. There's been a lot of stories, a lot of goals as well in this competition. Aside the fact that we have to burn night candles to enjoy the matches, the World Cup has been quite fantastic, if you ask me, as usual and as expected. Well, let's move on this beautiful morning and check out our stories from other sports. This time around, we're heading straight to the world of boxing, where heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk said yesterday that he was vacating his 3 boxing world title belts, but he is not retiring. The 39-year-old Ukrainian, who is unbeaten in his professional career, said that he wanted to make them free so that the guys who are in line for them can box. Usyk's announcement came just a month after he came closer to a shock upset defeat to kickboxer Rico Verhoeven. Of course, Usyk needed a highly controversial 11th round stoppage to turn the tables on the Dutchman, who had been leading on the scorecards up to that point, despite taking part in only his second boxing bout. Usyk posted on social media yesterday, and I quote, "Good day to everyone. Today is Friday. The weather is good, and it's a good day to say that I want to vacate all the belts that I currently hold to make them free so that the guys who are in line for them can box. My friends, I'm giving up the belt, but I'm not leaving the sport because I still have my last dance. I want to thank everyone. I respect all organizations. I want to thank everyone and say there is more to come from me." Usyk has been an undisputed world heavyweight champion at both cruiserweight and heavyweight division and boasts an unblemished record of 25 victories, including 16 knockouts in as many fights. In his amateur career, he won an Olympic, world and European champion. He was an Olympic, world and European champion. Now, his most iconic victories have been against a British heavyweight, that's Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Dana Dubois, whom he beat twice each. Well, he beat Joshua in September 2021 to win the WBA, WBO, and IBF belt, and then took the WBC belt off Tyson Fury in May 2024. He had to vacate the IBF belt for his rematch with Fury, but then won it back off Dubois in July 2025, only to vacate the WBO belt a few months later. Dubois then beat fellow Briton Fabio Wadler in May to win that particular belt. Well, quick break on the show this beautiful morning. When I return, we'll touch on the NBA and, of course, the Formula One as well before we return to the world of football. Still Spotted Beat on Oluyole 90.5 FM.
It is time time to introduce a home of luxury and estate management services. Yeah, Osaju Realty at number 5 Ogundele Layout behind main of Isaka Vision, Oniliaro off UI Ojo Road, Ibadan. There are property acquisition opportunities brought to your doorsteps. 1. A fully furnished 3-bedroom duplex for short and long stays at number 6 Shalom Close, Awufisayo Street off Ashi Road, New Bodija, Ibadan. Attractions: fully fitted kitchen, smart TV with Netflix, fast internet, 247 power supply, and top level of security. Minimum stay 2 days, maximum stay 7 days, but basically renewable. Price 220k per night. 2. A detached 3-bedroom duplex, 75% completed with borehole and good water supply. Same address at New Bodija, Ibadan. Also, a 3-bedroom duplex, 50% completed with ensuite rooms and fitted kitchen. Its price negotiable upon inspection. Located at the same New Bodija area, Ibadan. Finally, a 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex located inside a secured estate, currently at limited level. Price negotiable upon inspection at Lekron Abodore Abolade off Iyanolopa, New Bodija. 0813 1180 649 or better still +1346 7737 627. Contact us now.
Ẹgbẹ́ Rotary Action Group fún ètò ìlera ẹbí àti dídènà àìsàn AIDS ní àjọṣepọ̀ pẹ̀lú Rotary Club àtàwọn agbègbè wọn ní Nàìjíríà. Àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera, ilé-iṣẹ́ aládàáni àti NGOs máa ṣètò ìlera ọlọ́dọọdún wọn jákèjádò lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. A pè yí ní Rotary Family Health Days. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti June 25 sí 27 ọdún 2026 èyí ní District 9111, 9112, 9126, 9127, 9141 àti 9142. Wọ́n yóò ṣe àwọn àgọ́ ìlera jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè fún àwọn àyẹ̀wò tó ń ṣàfihàn àìsàn ibà, HIV, hepatitis, diabetes, jẹjẹrẹ ọmú pẹ̀lú pípín àwọn apẹ̀fọn, ìlédìí obìnrin, àyẹ̀wò ojú, eyín àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Fún àlàyé District 9111 ẹ pè bẹ́ẹ̀ sórí 002-317-7126. Fún 9112 ẹ pè Rasheed sórí 007-655-0000. Fún 9126 ẹ pè Fọlákẹ́ sórí 006-418-1884. Fún 9127 ẹ pè Ogechukwu sórí 003-324-0447. Fún 9141 ẹ pè Andy sórí 003-667-0210. Fún 9142 ẹ pè Chika sórí 003-341-3154. Olùkéde PDG Bọ́lá Oyèbádé, Country Manager, Nigeria.
The show is still Spotted Beat on Oluyole 98.5 FM. This beautiful Saturday morning, day number 27, the month of June 2026. All right, a quick one from the world of boxing before we move over to the world of basketball. A highly anticipated rematch between boxing legends Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao has been postponed indefinitely. Pacquiao's camp in the Philippines said yesterday. The news followed ESPN reporting that the planned Mayweather exhibition in Greece had been called off after an event an event company connected to Pacquiao bout had sought an injunction. The two Hall of Famers whose 2015 bout drove 4.6 million pay-per-view buys have been at loggerheads since Mayweather stunned the boxing world by declaring a rematch announced by Netflix for September would only be an exhibition, something bitterly contested by Pacquiao. Well, on Friday, the Pacquiao camp released a statement blaming the postponement on a volatile mix of federal lawsuits, scheduling over books, and financial gridlock completely surrounding the Mayweather camp. But that's the situation for those who have been counting that to that fight. You have to wait a little while. Well, it's been postponed indefinitely. We'll definitely keep our fingers crossed. Straight to the world of basketball quickly in the NBA. Nigeria's growing footprint in world basketball was again evident at the 2026 NBA draft, with 6 players of Nigerian heritage earning selections across the 2-day event held at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The group comprises Ebuka Okorie, Zubi Ejiofor, Otega Owe, Felix Opara, Toby Lawal, and Ugona Onyeso, who were drafted by 6 NBA franchises, although some are expected to join different teams through pre-arranged draft night trades. Okorie and Ejiofor secured first-round selections, while Owe, Opara, and Lawal and Onyeso were picked in the second round. Stanford guard Ebuka Okorie was selected with the 17th overall pick by the Oklahoma City Thunder. However, he is expected to end up with the Detroit Pistons after the completion of a previously agreed trade. Zubi Ejiofor, who impressed during his collegiate career at St. John's University, was taken 23rd overall by the Atlanta Hawks. Kentucky standout Otega Owe was chosen for the first overall by the Miami Heat, although his draft rights are expected to be transferred to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Owe capped his final college season by averaging 18.6 points and 1.8 steals per game. Former Ohio State and Tennessee center Felix Opara was picked for the 6th overall by the Orlando Magic. Toby Lawal, a forward from Virginia Tech, followed 2 spots later after the Dallas Mavericks selected him with the 48th overall pick. Well, that's a quick look at the players of Nigerian descent who were drafted during the week. Straight to the world of Formula One. Mercedes Kimi Antonelli headed McLaren's Oscar Piastri in Friday practice at the Austrian Grand Prix. Antonelli, who leads Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton by 41 points in the World Championship, was 0.237 seconds clear of Australian Piastri. The second McLaren of world champion Lando Norris was third fastest ahead of Red Bull's Max Verstappen, with Hamilton in 5th and the second Mercedes of George Russell in 6th position. McLaren also looked competitive on race pace, with Norris mixing it with the Mercedes for the best pace on the long runs late in the session. Well, more to come later today at the practice 2 and the qualifying race before we have the main race later on tomorrow. Back to the world of football, this time around female football, where the CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2026 will make history when it kicks off in about 29 days' time, with the continent's premier women's football competition expanding from 12 teams to 16 teams for the first time. The tournament opens on the 26th of July in Rabat, Morocco, where host country Morocco will take on Kenya at the Mole El Hassan Stadium. Earlier that day, Algeria faces Senegal in the other Group A fixture at Rabat Olympic Stadium. Now it's in its 14th edition. The tournament arrives amid a growing investment in the women's game across Africa. Well, according to CAF, the competition has made significant progress. Over the last 5 years, the prize money for the winners of the competition has increased from $150,000 to $1 million under CAF president, that's Dr. Patrick Mosepe. The 16 nations qualified for Morocco 2026 are host Morocco, Algeria, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Cape Verde, according to the government of the country, Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Malawi, Mali, defending champions Nigeria, Senegal, South Africa, Tanzania, and Zambia. Matches will be staged in Rabat and Casablanca across 5 CAF-approved venues, and as the Stade Mole Al Hassan, Stade Al Medina, Stade Olympique in Rabat, together with the Stade Labizoli and the Stade Mole Rachid in Casablanca. Nigeria will arrive as defending champions after securing a record-extending 10th continental title at the previous edition, but CAF expects even a very strong competition throughout the competition. Well, beyond the continental title, qualification for the FIFA Women's World Cup Brazil 2027 will also be on the line. CAF has said that with continued investment and increasingly competitive national teams, the CAF WAFCON Morocco 2026 is expected to be one of the most closely contested editions in the tournament history. And of course, for two promotion sports to the top flight, the three lowest ranked teams will drop to the NWFL nationwide division. Well, quite a lot to talk about, but time will let us go beyond this point this morning. Of course, we must say a big thank you to everyone who's been part of today's production. Bigger thanks to you for listening today. The show definitely returns on Monday for another interesting and of course a scintillating edition of Sport Tit Bits. By then we'll already be talking about round of 32 results and fixtures. Well, till then, do have a lovely weekend and enjoy the FIFA World Cup. And enjoy the FIFA World Cup.